Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about paragraph writing. When you were in elementary and middle school, you were probably shown a number of different ways to write a paragraph. You might have been given the hamburger idea where you start with the topic sentence, give some ideas, and end with a conclusion. Or you may have just been given an intro, a body, conclusion, topic sentence, supporting sentence, closing sentences. These are some very basic level paragraph structures, but we're going to start talking about how to write a solid paragraph for high school. This will make a lot of difference in your writing if you follow this format, and it will also easily translate into essay writing when we get to that point in this year. So we're going to get started, and you guys are going to learn about the 5-part paragraph. Just like it sounds, there are 5 parts to the 5-part paragraph structure. You can use this whenever you are asked to write a formal or well-written paragraph response. Not just in English class, you should be using this format when you are in science, when you are in social studies, in any kind of class where you are asked to write a well-written paragraph. This is the format and structure you want to use. The 5 parts start with the topic sentence. This is your general overall statement. Then it continues into your thesis. This is your argument. Just like in science class where you write a hypothesis, you are going to create a thesis that you have to then spend the rest of the paragraph proving. This is followed by an example. This is your evidence to prove what you are arguing in your thesis. You should have, at minimum, 2 to 3 examples from your text. This is the key, one of the most important parts, second only to the thesis. When you give examples, you can't just list them. You need to explain how they support your thesis. As we said, you need at least 2 or 3 examples for the example and to explain them, so you will need to do steps 3 and 4 at least twice. And finally, you will finish with your closing, which is an overall statement on why this should matter to the reader. Why is it important? Why did they just spend 10 minutes reading your paragraph? How does it relate to them? Here's where it all begins. You are going to write your opening sentence. An opening sentence should be general, non-specific, means it should not have an argument in it. It shouldn't give us a detail. It shouldn't already be an example. It should just touch on the ideas you want to talk about in your paragraph. It should be like your hi, hello, this is what I'm about to talk about in your paragraph. Your first sentence should be either a quote or a general statement, which is a little bit more formal and can take your writing to that next level. The question is, why don't we use a question at the beginning of a paragraph or an essay? A question means that you are now engaged in a conversation with your reader. This means that if you're in a conversation with your reader, then you exist in the paragraph, which means that you're there and you're a part of it. It takes away from the formality of your writing. It means that it's about your thoughts and your opinions rather than just a fact or an argument that's based on research. In the first sentence, you're just going to simply introduce the topic. You do not state your position yet. Just like we said, it's your hi, hello, this is what I'm about to talk about. Here we have some examples of an introduction statement. So if your topic was violence on television, you might say for a general statement that doesn't give us an argument and yet just touches on the topic that we're about to talk about, you might say, almost every time you turn on the television, you will find a number of shows that are extremely violent. This is a basic statement. It's not an example of what you're about to talk about. It's not your argument. We are curious to find out what you're going to say about this topic because of the way you stated your introduction. Another example forms. You might say public schools have decided that their students should wear uniforms. Again, not an argument. We don't know if you're for or against, so we're going to find out why. A third example is dreams and goals. Do an introduction statement. Dreams are a vital necessity in people's life that drive them to ideals. However, here is also an example of using a quote as an introduction, which is another very viable way to begin your writing. You could say, Walt Disney is noted for saying that all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. From there on, you would then create an argument about pursuing dreams and goals, etc. And the quote is just to set us up for that argument. So let's do a little practice. Imagine I asked you to write, Burger King has the best hamburger. Because you've already given me your argument, you've already non-specific, and just touch on the idea about what you're going to be writing about. The more formal it is, the more I'm going to be apt to believe what you're saying. So, take a second before I reveal a great solid opening sentence on the world's best hamburger. Take a second and write your own. Pause this video. Now that you have paused this video and written your opening sentence, and make sure that you have posted it to the blog, ask yourself first these questions. Is my opening sentence general and non-specific, or does it have an argument? If you said yes, that it's general, and no, that does not have an argument in it, and it's not a question, then you're on the right path. So let's take a look and compare yours to what an opening sentence could be. Here's one sample that you could use that just touches on our idea, introduces our topic without giving an argument. Around the world, many restaurants offer a variety of different kinds of hamburgers. Gets our interest, lets us know what we're talking about, and is long enough that it's also not just a very boring sentence. It gets our interest. Alright, trying to practice just one more time before we move on into our thesis statements. You are going to write one more opening sentence. You can use one of the three options, or if you want another one, you can do another. But give me a solid, good opening sentence similar to the ones that we've talked about and looked at in our examples. You could write about pets, the NBA, computers, or technology, or anything. But make it general, make it a statement, and gauge our interest. Pause the video and then post your response to the blog. Alright, awesome job with the opening statements. We are going to continue in video 2 to take a look at writing a great thesis statement, one of the most important elements of any paragraph or essay. Without a thesis, you cannot have an essay.